Welcome back to another episode of Tough Men of Faith.
Hey, RT, we're back.
We are back. It's we had the interview with Taylor. And,
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it feels like we're still just kind of getting back into it, though.
I know, but I like it. I'm feeling good about this season.
I'm having trouble focusing tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
have
there
this-
all day.
No. You have this.
Hey, don't make fun of my hydro flask.
Nick has a hydro flask, and like, there's not words to describe how big it is.
Right. So all the people in our family, like, they all carry their own water bottles into Christmas. So I was trying to be a little pretentious. I thought it was gonna be funny, if I got like this giant, basically like a Gatorade size, water jug.
What's how much does that hold? That's bigger than a gallon.
It's a gallon.
That's a gallon?
Yeah, it's just got really good insulation, so it looks
Okay,
bigger.
because it's really tall. Like,
Yeah.
It's probably 18 inches.
Yep.
Tall.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But it's funny because now that I've had it, I find myself drinking at least a gallon of water every day.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel really good.
Okay.
So
it's the dumbest looking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you.
It's-
So that's what my wife says too when I like go carrying it out of the house in the morning. She's like, I can't believe you asked for this for Christmas, and I tell her, I was like, I can't believe you got it for me.
Yeah.
I would have never bought this for anybody, but whatever.
Honestly, man, you need like some like stonewashed jeans, some work boots,
Oh yeah,
tank top. You just need to walk into a gym,
right.
throw that thing around. It's
Yeah.
like the modern day. You're no longer carrying a gallon jug. You have your own hydro flask.
I wish that it had like a spout, like you could drink out of it, because
It's too big.
I know I feel like I have to like carry a cup with me to pour it
You
from
do.
the
You have a
flask
red
into the
Solo
cup.
cup.
Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering what was in it, but
Yep.
I guess it's just water.
It's just water.
Okay, we said
Yep.
you had trouble focusing, so I didn't know.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got your Tough Men of Face sticker on it?
Man, so that's the thing. She told me that you got to put all your stickers all over this thing. Well, this thing's got it's like billboard room. So, I put all kinds of stickers on
Yeah.
there. And then if it like fell over in the truck,
Yeah.
like the first day I had it, it like leaned over. It leaks everywhere if you tip it over.
It's a hydro flask.
It's
It
a
shouldn't
piece
do
of junk, dude. It just keeps water cold. That's all it does.
that. I'm not sure it's a real hydro flask.
It might not be. Maybe Amazon sold me like a fake one.
Just put the
It's a
sticker on it.
knockoff. Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
I don't know. We need to put a picture on the Tough Men of Faith
Yeah, we might show it later.
page
We'll
when
see.
it comes out. All right, so here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So last year I hit 20 years of marriage.
Jeez.
I know.
That's a lot.
I know. I mean,
Okay.
it flies by. It's great.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Because I'm coming up on number 7 now.
Yeah.
Like in like 2 months. You're number 7.
Has it went fast?
The first year didn't go fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next 6, yeah, they're flying by.
I feel like the 20s went fast. So I was asked to speak at a conference. And
Okay.
They had me speak on 20 things I've learned in 20 years of marriage.
Oh, this should be good.
So I wrote it. I spent some time. Karen and I worked on it together.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun. And like just practical things.
Okay.
I never thought I'd use it again. Then when you and I were talking about, hey, what's some things we can do in between interviews? I thought we should talk about that.
Yeah.
The 20 things. Like,
See, there's no way I could do that. I would try to be funny on 10 of them.
I tried to
Or
be
more.
funny on some of them.
Okay, cool.
But it helped that Karen was there when I was speaking. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
for sure. It's a whole lot easier to stay in
Yeah.
the lines.
I
Or-
found that sometimes it's not worth just trying to get the laugh.
Huh, maybe that's one of the things
Maybe
you
that's
found
21.
out. Yeah.
So probably a couple episodes. We'll just see how
Awesome.
long it takes.
Yeah, let's see what.
You haven't seen the list yet.
I haven't. That's what I'm a little nervous about.
Yeah, so I'll name it and then we'll talk a few minutes about it.
All
Talk
right.
about what I've learned and go from there. So
You
All
got
right.
producer Blake laughing already, so
Do
this
we?
is going to be great.
Okay. And I don't have them numbered, but I know I'm pretty sure there's 20 here.
Okay.
All right, here's the first one.
What you got?
Opposites really do attract. And
Oh, yeah.
sometimes you don't find out how different you are until after you say I do.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
These are insightful,
Yeah.
practical. Like, so sometimes you don't know your opposite of your spouse until you get married.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you know before, but
Right.
a lot of
No,
times you don't find out until afterwards, until exactly like how opposite you are.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I knew we were opposites when we got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after you say I do, it's too late, right? So
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're stuck.
yeah. So
Oh.
you gotta, which it's not always bad to be opposite.
No, it's
right?
not.
I think God puts you together for a
Yeah,
reason.
Yeah, there's a reason why. She
Um,
needed her eyes opened, and I needed somebody to.
Wait.
Put a ball and chain
No,
on
wait,
me.
wait. Did you say she needed her eyes open?
Well, she just thought the world was a much smaller place than it is.
Ah, okay.
You know.
You need to be careful. This
I
next
am.
couple
I'm
weeks.
being
Okay,
careful.
yeah.
I want to.
So here's your two choices.
Yeah.
When you figure out that you're opposite, you can either resent the person for being different, or you can allow the differences to strengthen you.
That's what we did.
Good.
Yeah.
I haven't always done that.
Really?
Well, not always. Like
Okay.
a small thing, like Karen's super like clean. Like she thinks everything has a place,
Really?
everything's picked up. She thought since I was in the army that I would have the same. Be
Okay.
the same way. I am not naturally that way.
Gotcha.
And so when we first got married, it was like I thought the clothes just go on the floor. When you
Yeah.
wanted something to wear, you dig through the pile,
Right.
smell it, and that's what you wear if it's good. She did not see things that way.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
there's
see,
a time.
I'm a big organizer.
Yeah.
And,
But if your spouse is not, they can strengthen you in that area. Now, there's a lot of other areas, right, too, that
Yeah.
they can do that.
Oh yeah.
So the big thing for me on that, like, if your spouse is different from you in a positive way, right?
Yeah.
Can that help make you more like Jesus?
Yeah.
Strengthen you spiritually as well.
Yeah, her stepdad, I remember, he told me, he said no returns. Like right after we walked down the aisle, like we're going outside to take pictures, and he said, she's yours now and you can't return her. Like, that's a very real thing that somebody's told me, but it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah. And I think that
what you just mentioned, we're stuck and we have to work it out on our own.
That's what that first year sometimes can be rough for people.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're figuring out that, man, not everything's great.
Yeah. The first year was tough. Awesome, but tough. Well, I lived together, or I lived by myself for, years. And then we didn't live together before we got married. So, when she came home, she never went home. Yeah. She never went back to the place she used to go to. I say that all the time, so I don't get in trouble with it anymore. But that was a big thing to learn.
I loved the first year because I went from living in a college dorm with a bunch of dumb roommates.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get to move in with my best friend.
With another dumb roommate. Just kidding.
No, with my best friend. Yeah. And I definitely like living with her better than
for sure.
roommates.
A bunch of other guys.
There's even some other benefits. So it was a great first year.
Yep. Yeah. I get it.
Okay. So anyways, the second one.
Yeah.
You ready for number 2?
I am.
Social media lies.
What?
Yeah. One of the biggest threats, I think, to marriages is unrealistic expectations.
We've talked about this before.
We have, yeah. And the big thing on this is, though, like, we have these expectations sometimes on marriage because we hear someone else talk about how great their marriage is.
Yeah.
And then social media just, like, adds fuel to that fire.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
and not just social media, just the internet alone.
The internet alone, right? Yeah.
There's so much false information you can find that people portray to be real that isn't necessarily.
And the thing about social media, though, it's people you know sometimes.
Yeah.
So, like, if you get in a disagreement with your spouse, you don't feel appreciated. And then you jump online and this other lady or man puts, my wife, my husband, he's the greatest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Puts up some pictures of them smiling. You're
right.
like, man, they have a great marriage. But you don't really know what's going on, right? So it's like the social media is like this false.
Hey, you just see the picture that they're trying to paint for you.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's going on behind closed doors.
No, you don't. Or even like if you're upset because your wife doesn't keep the house clean enough and you get on Instagram and you see someone else has this perfectly kept house. Like, well, they don't have toddlers at home or they don't live with you as a husband, right? I mean, there's all these other factors that you can't compare them to.
Yeah.
So, I think the social media is I think it hurts marriages.
Yeah, I agree.
Which it wasn't around when I first got married. Getting married 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like,
wow. What do you guys do with your free time?
I've thought about that. I didn't even have MySpace. I remember when it came out.
Yeah.
I know what we did in our free time, but it's...
Look at producer Blake. He's dying. It's like, I set you up. You don't take the bait. He sits there and just laughs.
I got it in my head. I wasn't trying to do it on both
Everybody
points.
did.
I wasn't trying to make all 20 points in marriage about that.
Right. No, yeah. Sorry about that.
But I know who I'm talking
to.
But
it is one of the big points. I mean, it's like that point just carries over.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
It's one of the points.
It is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think towards the end.
Item number 3.
Well, wait. The only thing I had on that is that there's this proverb, 14:30. It says, "A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot." So the only thing on social media is that it says envy makes the bones rot. So if you've ever felt that way on social media, which we've talked about, like the reels and all these things now, and you're looking through it, and there's these other people having these great meals, and they're doing all that. We're just talking about meal prepping, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big one on there. Like everyone has their meals prepped for the week on Sunday, and it looks so great. And
some people do.
Some people do, but that envy can just make you like rot inside. It can hurt your marriage because you're getting envious of other marriages.
Well, it just kind of goes back to comparing your marriage to anybody else's life or marriage. Yeah. You're just never going to get anywhere positive with that.
It's true. You ready for number 3?
I am.
We are both awful mind readers.
Oh yeah.
We're both awful mind readers.
Yeah, we just nailed this one.
Yeah. Have you ever thought, like, how does she know shouldn't she know I'm upset or that bothers me?
Yeah.
Or I know we have some ladies that listen to this too, so some of these will maybe apply more directly to them.
Yeah.
But sometimes men need it like really spelled out for them.
Right.
Like we don't quite get the hint.
Right.
It's
like a conversation I had on the way over here today.
Yeah.
She gave me this look.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to put the crazy back away."
Yeah.
And she looked at me and said, "Now, do you think that's something that you should tell your wife?" And I was like, "Well, when it's needed, yeah." And no, it was not something I needed to say.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and she laughed about it in the end.
Yeah.
It took her a while.
Now it's out here for everyone to hear. So, but I think men are bad at pouting sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
You never
I would never do that, but
really,
I mean, maybe there's some men out there that pout. I have a friend that pouts a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men that pout.
Yeah. He calls me to tell me about his problems, like why he's pouting. I'm like, just be a man and go talk to your wife and tell her what the issue is.
Yeah. I think it's a thing guys struggle with. But
Is
the
it?
thing is, like, I don't think we should expect our wives to read our minds either.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
right.
Here's what's going on. Here's what's bothering me.
Yeah. Hey, look, I have this issue. I'm trying to work through it, but I'm going to need some help from you.
Yeah. But I've just found that we're both awful mind readers.
Yeah.
What are we on? Point 4. Things start getting better when I see that I'm the problem.
Oh, man, I just had this conversation with somebody.
Did you?
Yeah, it's like, man, every time that I pray that I want my wife to change, I find myself changing.
Yeah.
And it makes things better in the end because I start changing a little, which maybe makes her change, but maybe it just opens my eyes to doing things a different way.
Like if you've ever laid like in bed at night, you're having a fight, you're sleeping back to back.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, if only she would do this differently.
Right.
If only she would pick this up. If only she would do this. That's the problem. You just like keep going through this in your mind, right?
Yeah.
And then have you ever stopped to think like, maybe it's me, right? So Romans 3:23 says we're all sinners, right? So
yeah.
All means all, right? So it's
right.
Like, so instead of thinking that your spouse is always the problem, begin to realize that, hey, I'm probably the problem here.
Yeah, this is one for me that, I've slept on the couch many nights in a row before I realized it. Not before I realized that I was the problem, but maybe before I even admitted it, even to myself.
I think the big thing there is we don't want to take our own sins seriously.
Like, well, it's a lot easier to point out somebody else's sin.
We see it in our spouse, but then we overlook it, and us is like, yeah, it's small. I'm trying to work on it, but what you're doing is really the problem.
Right.
And you can't change her, right? So you can change you.
Right,
so
yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Number 5?
Number 5.
I don't have these numbered.
Oh, okay.
Number 5, even mother-in-laws can be useful.
Yeah. Not something I would have said in the first couple of years of marriage.
Right.
Definitely something I say at year 6 and 7.
Yeah.
How's year 20? I mean, you have a really good relationship with your mother-in-law.
I do.
So
yeah, and when I say mother-in-laws, I really mean like your in-laws in general, right? So your father-in-law, your parents and stuff. But for us, it was really personal. And Karen doesn't mind me sharing a story because she shares it a lot. But probably about year 4, I don't know. I have trouble with time, but whenever we had our first child.
Well, you've been at it 20 years now.
Right, yeah, been at it a while. After we had our first child, Karen had postpartum really bad.
Okay.
Man, I didn't know anything. I just knew that something's wrong. Things aren't going right. Things aren't going good at the house.
You're not saying put the crazy away.
I didn't say that, thankfully. But I just knew there was a lot going on. So I remember, and I wasn't super close with my mother-in-law at the time, but I remember picking up the phone and calling her. Yeah. Like, hey, I don't know what to do, but things are not going well here at the house. We have this new baby. Yeah. Karen's struggling. I just kind of listed some of the things she's having. Yeah. And she showed up that night. They live a couple hours away.
Right.
Showed up with a bag in hand, which a couple years before I'd have dreaded that, right? When your mother-in-law shows up and the doorbell rings and she's there for a bag.
Hey, we're here to stay a while.
Yeah. That day, I learned over the next few weeks how thankful I was for my mother-in-law.
That's awesome.
And my father-in-law.
Yeah.
And just like the family support, and realize that marriage isn't just in a silo.
Right.
That when you get married, you still need other people investing in you, that you're not created alone.
Right. That's and it's fine. It's good to have, their blood relatives, the people that have been feeding into them for so long, that you can go to for advice and for, the people to lean on. Yeah. It's just, that's great.
Scripture talks about, Titus 2 talks about an older woman, like taking care of investing in younger women. Yeah. So you need that in marriage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think even if you don't, I'm blessed with great in-laws. Yeah. But if you don't have that, you need to find some older couples.
I agree.
Whoever that is, that's going to invest in you and be there to help you walk through life.
Yep, for sure. People that have already done it and lived it. And it's funny, we always think that it's different because we're a different generation, but really so many things that you're going through, they've either gone through or, something similar to where they can be, a huge hand or a huge benefit to have around.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah, number 6.
I don't care doesn't always mean I don't care.
What?
Did you know that?
I'm learning something.
Yeah. Now, I understand we're not mind readers, but there is some discernment in beginning to learn that. So when we first got married, I rode motorcycles all the time.
Okay.
I still do, right?
Yeah.
But back then I would be one of those guys that would be out on the bike till 2 a.m. every Friday and Saturday night,
Gotcha.
Just riding around the city.
Yeah.
And so I would ask her, as a good husband, hey, do you care if I go out riding? And she'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Huh. And I found
that maybe she cared?
She cared sometimes. Yeah. And sometimes she'd be trying to tell me she cared, and I would push in a way to be like, to get her to say I don't care, and then I would go, right? Yeah. So I begin to learn that, hey, I need some discernment to know like what my wife's really, how she's feeling, and picking up on some other cues. And
right.
The problem is I grew up with a bad example on that.
Really?
Yeah, my dad, he was awful at that.
I wouldn't say he's a bad example.
Oh, a bad example.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Great example for a guy to learn how to ride a motorcycle from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I actually, no, not that either.
Well, Okay, now we're all sitting around laughing. But I remember hearing some stories, about your dad, passing you on the highway, 120, 130.
He was a nut on a motorcycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But he was a preacher, right? And so small Baptist church. And I remember he would say something he shouldn't sometimes. And my mom would.
I'm really sorry.
About what? Everything. I'm dying laughing over it.
Okay, good.
My mom would give him a look, like, you shouldn't say this.
Right.
And he would look at her, because you know the look, right?
I do, yeah, I get it. About every other look that I get is the look.
He would get it, and he would just start saying it anyways. Or my mom used to, kick him underneath the table, if he's getting ready to say something.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said he always...
My wife does that. She pinches me.
Well, okay, so you got the pinch.
And then I'm like, hey, why are you pinching me?
That's what he would do. He said, why are you kicking me?
Right.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
No, I know.
Yeah, because really in that, your wife's trying to make you look good.
Yeah, she's trying to, yeah, you're exactly right.
Usually, when I saw my mom do that to my dad, it wasn't that she was necessarily worried about what he was going to say, for a lot of reasons.
Right.
It was because...
She just didn't want him to look stupid.
Hey, you're going to look really dumb saying this. You need to shut your mouth.
Yep.
And that's why I'm kicking you. And then he'd be like, why are you kicking me?
Yeah. Yep. I totally get that because I get pinched.
You get pinched.
Yeah.
Well, I think so where I was going on that point is you just need to know your wife, right?
Absolutely.
And
know your spouse.
Know your spouse and what's going on. So, number 7.
Number 7.
Bite that tongue. Make it bleed if you must.
Are you just talking to me?
I know. These are things I've learned, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I heard this quote. I don't remember who said it, but it's words are free. It's how you use them that may cost you.
Yep.
So you can use them.
Right.
They're free to use.
But it's going to cost you.
It may cost you.
Yep. No, it will cost you.
It will cost you. I'm pretty witty.
Really?
I usually have great comebacks.
Yeah, I do too.
On the fly, I am so good at that.
See, I get that.
But I've learned that that's not always the best gift to have.
I've learned that too.
It's not always proved to be helpful in my marriage.
Right. And the problem that I have is I don't want to not say that great comeback because
you don't want it to go to waste.
It's really funny. Yeah, I don't want it to go to waste. And then I get myself into a predicament like I'm probably currently in, actually. And
Proverbs 17:28 says, even a fool who keeps silent is considered wise. So even though you have that witty comeback.
So my wife wouldn't consider me wise.
No, well, I'm not calling you a fool. Scripture is. So
great.
But it's such a great verse, to think about because you've seen it before. I've seen it. I'm not going to say I've seen it with you, but I probably have.
Yeah, you probably have.
You've seen this guy, and he just won't shut up.
Right.
He keeps talking and talking.
He's like the guy that needs pinched under the table.
And he keeps digging himself, and you're like, man, why don't you just be quiet?
Right.
If you're just quiet, things will go better for you.
You have this shovel in your back pocket with your name on it. Quit digging a hole.
Yeah, so here's what my advice is bite your tongue when that's happening. And if you still feel like you need to say it, keep biting your tongue. Then when you start tasting the blood from your tongue, just keep biting down.
Yeah, then you'll know.
Then you'll know.
Yeah, hey, stupid, stop.
Stop, and if I don't talk, I'll seem intelligent.
Yep.
Even if you're not, you'll seem like it, so.
And on the point for hey, stupid, stop.
Yeah.
We're probably getting close to time to wrap up this episode.
How many did we do? How many we covered?
We got through 7.
Okay. So let's wrap it up here.
Yeah, let's wrap it up here.
And then come back to it in maybe another episode or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it may take another 2 episodes. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's been fun.
Maybe we'll move through them a little quicker. Maybe we won't.
Are you learning anything?
It seems like everything just comes back to bite your tongue, stupid. Okay. I think that's what I got from it.
If you just take that today.
Right.
And you live that out this next week.
Yeah, my relationship will be better. Awesome.
Mine will be better the more I learn that. So
great.
All right, thanks for joining us for Tough Men of Faith, and looking forward to talking with you guys next week.
I can't wait to get to the next 7.
Let's do it.
All right, see you.